You know what's crazy? Right now, while you're watching this, there are millions of people scrolling through their phones, looking at pictures of friend groups hanging out, reading about parties they weren't invited to, and feeling completely alone. And here's the thing that nobody wants to admit: you might be one of them. Before you click away, I need you to hear this, because what I'm about to tell you might change everything you thought you knew about loneliness and friendship. Let me ask you something real quick. When was the last time someone called you just to talk? Not to ask for something, not because they needed help, but just because they wanted to hear your voice. Can't remember? Yeah, you're not alone in that. Having no friends isn't just about being physically alone. It's about feeling invisible in a world full of people. It's about going through your entire day without a single person asking how you're really doing. It's about having good news and realizing there's nobody you feel comfortable sharing it with. It's about bad days that feel even worse because you're carrying the weight entirely by yourself. And society makes it so much harder than it needs to be. Everyone acts like making friends is supposed to be this natural, easy thing that just happens. But nobody talks about how hard it actually is, especially as you get older. Nobody teaches you what to do when you're the person eating lunch alone, or when you're spending another weekend by yourself while your social media feed explodes with everyone else's plans. The shame around being friendless is so intense that people would rather pretend everything's fine than admit they're struggling. That shame keeps people trapped in silence, scrolling through other people's lives instead of building their own connections. Here's something that might surprise you. According to research from Harvard University's long-term study on adult development, which has been tracking people for over 80 years, the quality of our relationships is one of the biggest predictors of our happiness and even our physical health. The study found that people who are more socially connected to family, friends, and community are happier, physically healthier, and live longer than people who are less well connected. But here's the part that hits different. It's not about how many friends you have or whether you're in a relationship. It's about the quality and depth of those connections. So if you're sitting there thinking you need a huge friend group to be happy, you don't. Even one genuine connection can transform your entire life. Now stay with me, because this is where it gets really important. Having no friends doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're broken or unlikable or destined to be alone forever. Sometimes it's just circumstances. Maybe you moved to a new city and starting over feels impossible. Maybe you had a friend group that fell apart and now you don't know how to begin again. Maybe you've been so focused on work or school or taking care of family that friendships got pushed to the side. Maybe you've been hurt before and building trust feels terrifying. Or maybe you're just different from the people around you, and finding your people takes more time. None of these things make you defective, but here's what I need you to understand. While having no friends isn't your fault, staying in that place might require you to do something different. And I know that's scary. When you've been alone for a while, putting yourself out there feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. What if people reject you? What if you're awkward? What if you try and it doesn't work? But here's the truth that nobody tells you. Everyone feels that way. Even the people who seem to have tons of friends felt awkward and scared at some point. The difference is they did it anyway. Think about it like this. Friendship is like a garden. If you want flowers, you can't just stare at empty dirt and hope something grows. You have to plant seeds. You have to water them. You have to give them time and attention. Some seeds won't grow, and that's okay. That's not a reflection of you as a gardener. That's just how gardens work. But if you never plant anything because you're afraid of failure, you're guaranteed to have empty dirt forever. Starting small counts as planting. Saying hello to the same person at the coffee shop counts. Joining one online community about something you care about counts. Showing up to one local event even though you're nervous counts. Every tiny action is a seed. And let me tell you something that might sound strange, but is absolutely true. Being friendless can actually teach you things that people with tons of friends never learn. It teaches you how to be comfortable with yourself. It teaches you self-reliance. It shows you what you actually like versus what you pretend to like to fit in. It gives you incredible empathy for other people who feel left out. These aren't small things. These are the kinds of lessons that make you a deeper, more interesting person. So while you're working on building connections, don't waste energy hating yourself for where you are right now. You're not in a bad place, you're in a starting place. Here's the part where I need you to really pay attention, because this might save you years of frustration. When you're trying to make friends, quality matters infinitely more than quantity. You don't need to be popular. You don't need a packed social calendar. You need one or two people who actually get you. People you can text random thoughts to at 2 in the morning. People who remember the things you care about. People who show up when things get hard. Those friendships might take months or even years to develop, and that's completely normal. Real connection isn't fast food, it's a slow-cooked meal. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. And listen, if you're someone who has friends and you're watching this, I need something from you too. Look around. Notice the quiet person. Notice who's always alone. Notice who never gets invited. It takes almost nothing to include someone, but for that person, it could mean everything. Send the text. Make the invitation. Ask the question. You have no idea how much power you have to change someone's entire experience just by seeing them. Be the person you needed when you felt alone. So here's what I want you to do right now. If this resonated with you, if any part of this felt like it was speaking directly to your situation, hit that like button. Not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you're ready to acknowledge where you are and start moving forward. And drop a comment, even if it's just one word about how you're feeling. Because when you comment, you're not just engaging with a video, you're connecting with hundreds of other people who feel exactly the same way you do. That's how it starts. That tiny act of reaching out, of saying, I'm here too, that's the first seed in your garden. And I promise you, if you keep planting, something beautiful is going to grow.